Studios. In this session, we will learn about Axios. Axios is a JavaScript library through which we can fetch data uh, using Axios. So this is the library we will going to use it. This is Axios. It is the best for HTTP, like fetching data through HTTP client. So we will be using it for React Native. So in this session, we will learn the basics of how to fetch data from an API server using Axios. Then we will learn what is the best or better approach while using the Axios, and then later on we will also explore about the what it's called how you can intercept your request while sending to the server, like how you can intercept the authentication process, so that whenever the user's got access token got expired, so that we can intercept the request and fetch the new access token, then resend our request again, so that our request didn't get failed due to access token expiry. uh, with the uh, with the process of installing the Axios library into our project. Well, I have created a React Native project here, which is just simply boilerplate code here. So we have like this is the basics. Whenever you create a new project, this is the basic of React Native. So in app.js file here, we have this boilerplate code. So we will just remove this code and add uh, just basic screen. So here what we will gonna do is just creating a button here. Okay, let's save this. So you will see here we have like an empty screen. So just use save area, so that whatever we will add here will be below this save area. Okay, so save area view here. Then we will have, let's say, a button which will going to fetch our data, and then this title will be fetch me. You can see here we have this nice little iOS default button, on press of this button we will fetch the data. So this is our just basic of Axios. So then in its document for the Axios, we have here setup, like instructions how to install the Axios. So we will be just adding the Axios here. So on terminal we will add yarn add Axios. So this will going to add Axios package for us, and here for install. While installing the dependencies, one more thing, like for the APIs I'm using crud.com. It's just basic of it just gave us some methods for HTTP methods, so that we can test, so that we can test it on our API results. So this is a good example for which we can what you can say is we can carry on. So let me check if we have installed it. So we have installed this. So now let's play. Now let's build the project. So let's see if it's run or not. Now whenever you will face any error while installing the packages, npm packages, or installing any pod file, then what you have to do is you have to just remove all the node files, and in yarn.doc file, or for npm I guess it's like something log. I'm not sure what it is right now, but the thing is you have to delete these two files. Then in the iOS, go to iOS folder and then remove pods folder and pod file.log. Remove all these four files and then install npm, I mean like all the packages again and install the pods. Then you will see your error will most probably get moved. So for now, like import to use the Axios, we will be adding Axios from Axios. Then let's create a function here. Let's say get users. Um, Call get users list. Then inside of this Axios dot get, and what is our base URL? Our base URL is like if I go to like creditcredit.com here, this is our base URL, so we need to pass that as well. That catch the error. If our request got failed, we will get an error. Response here, just print this out. Response. Data. Why I've added a question mark here is that if we are like fetching data from request, and if it's null, then our app get crashed. So we are just handling the null optional parameters here. Console.log error. And inside of this on press call user list, and you will see we got users array, right? So yes, one more thing, like since you can see if I go to creditcredit.com here, and to get any post we need to pass the resource name, which is users. So basically it's telling us that you have to pass the users name, users as a resource here. So we will add users. Then if I click on it again, you will see we get all the users response here. Okay, and then we have like we can post any users, like we can add any user, we can call add users. For this Axios.post, simply, but for post we need like params for what we are adding, what data we are adding. So we have like params equals, we need ID. You can see here we need an ID here, we have name, and then we have user ID. So we will be creating a params for user ID. which is, let's say, 6. Then a name, which can be like anything, user1, and then pass it like this. Then if I call, you will see we got um, the new user here, which ID is 6, and then if I call user list, you will see we will have updated user with ID 6. Now let's update user ID 6 name. So to do that, we need like call update user, and so we need user ID 6. And if we go to character documentation, if we are using put request, then we need to pass ID like this. So we need to change our base URL, then this is going to be user ID, right? And if I call update user, so I need to pass like user ID here, right? So for user 6, the ID is same. This is the put request here. Now if I fetch, we got like request failed with status code 4.5 because it's users, then user ID. Let me check why it's getting failed. Because we need to like we need params, right? So what we are updating, so we need params here, and in params we will say, let's say, UA Studios, okay, and then we got the response. And then if we like want to check it out, then we can simply call users list, you will see the user with user ID since the user with the user ID, this one got the name with UA Studios 1 since we didn't like added a user ID here, that's why it's not showing up. So this is how, this is the basics of Axios for using get, put, and post request. And in the next section, I will sharing some more details about get user ID. I mean, like get users by ID and then deleting a user, but with some might be some different function name due to some recording issues. So you don't have to worry about. This video is recorded after recording. I mean, like this session basically didn't get record. That's why I'm recording it later on. So I'm like recording it again. So due to this reason, function's name a little bit stuff would be different from the next session. So you don't have to worry about. You just need to follow the function name here after that. So the function name, all this and these stuff might be different. So you don't have to worry about. Thank you. Now let's say if we want to update the user again to, let's say, user QA Studios, you will see we will update the data. Sorry, we have to call and update user API. Now we have got the response, and then if we fetch user API, you will see this user's name would be UA Studios. So we have check get request, post request, put request, and then let's say if you want to get a single entity for any users, what we can do is like call. We have this function here which is call get users. Okay. So call get user by ID. So here instead of this we can pass an ID. So that we can append the data like this. Then we can fetch the details of an user as well. So here fetch Annie's ID here, and then you will see we will get single record. You can see here we got just single record. So we have learned how to get any request, then how to get any request by ID, then how you can add any data like using post request, and how you can update any request using put request. Now we will see how we can delete any data using delete request. So here call delete user API, and then instead of parents we don't need parents, we will need user ID. So we will be deleting this user's ID which was like UA Studios, right? So here if we click on this fetch me, I forgot to delete this add delete method. So we got the response here. Now let's call. Now let's call get users API. So we will see, we will remove this UA Studios. You can see here this ID is removed. Like we don't have one BCA, one BCB, but we don't have one CBA. So this got removed as well. So this is how you can use post request. These are different HTTP methods you can use using Axios. So like we have multiple methods like get, post, put, delete. So this is how you can simply use the Axios to call your API and get the JSON response. And then in the next session we will learn how we can improve this calling, like calling our Axios, how we can improve our code structure so that you can see here we have created a base URL, we have added base URL in our every request. So we have to optimize this code, and then we will also use interceptor. We will learn how we can use interceptor as well.